to Devils United. Another preview this week. This time it's for Arsenal. Battle for top four. Got two brilliant guests here today. Tereak, how are you?
I'm all right, Mace. Thank you for inviting me on. It's been a while since I've been on the channel.
It has been a while. It has, and we're basically doing a local reunion because we actually met each other just before the Arsenal game, the first time round, and now we're doing an Arsenal show together. Who would have thought?
Exactly. Tell me about it. Yeah, obviously we had a good first impression of each other. That's good.
I could tell that you liked me at first sight. That's just it.
There we go. Exactly that.
Luca, back again for another Arsenal preview. As you can see, you're doing the double on the channel. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm ready to clap Manchester United if Arsenal get 3 points tomorrow. So I'm ready to do my say if we beat you tomorrow. I've got it all planned if we do beat you tomorrow. So I'm keeping it quiet at the moment. But yeah, I'm good, man. And
well, I have a feeling that could be true, but I hope it isn't. A few people are in the chat already. Hello there to Niall. Hey there to Nippon. Hi to Vincent. And hello to Andrew as well. Thank you for tuning in. And Vincent has already said the good news for Man United fans that the under-23s are 1-0 up at half-time, which is great. Wait, I can't believe your under-21s are 1-0 up. What? I was reading it wrong, thinking it was us.
It's a great start, Mace. Great start to the weekend.
Oh, thank you very much, the under-23s. But let's get started with the preview. And I'll start with you, Tereak, of how you feel like Arsenal have done for you so far this season. Because a lot of people say that Arsenal have been overachieving.
Yeah, I'm feeling confident, and I think we are overachieving. I know some Luca may have different thoughts, and most Arsenal fans in general. But looking at where we were expected to be, and where we as fans even expected Arsenal to finish and be in a position, no, for a top four, absolutely not. We thought it was signed, sealed, delivered with Manchester United, Chelsea, Liverpool, Man City. But obviously that's not been the case, and with Manchester United's failures and downfall, but also Arsenal taking the opportunity. And yes, we are in a top four race, and it did look dead and buried just probably a few days ago before the Chelsea game. And we all thought that as Arsenal fans, we were going to lose that one. But just like this season, they surprised us. And let's hope that we can say that at the end of the season when it's all said and done.
Mm-hmm. Looking at the Premier League table already, you've only drew 3 times, and you drew quite a lot of games last season. What did prevent you from getting European football? Before I ask Luca, I'll go to again to read. Do you feel like no European football has really helped Arsenal this season to get to where they are today?
100%. And the biggest factor, I think, with having no European football is the way we've been able to get players out of the club and not keeping players just so that the players that are needed, players that aren't good enough, and they're not good enough to be playing consistently in the Premier League. So your Pablo Maris, your Callum Chambers, your Ainsley Maitland-Niles, etc. So I think that's what the biggest factor is. And then being able to play our first 11 consistently, that's important, and keeping those key players in the squad. And when we've missed them, we've seen how it's impacted us because we don't quite yet have that squad depth. So for sure, yeah, to answer your question, that one game a season has definitely helped, but I think it may have helped in the long term as well in moving us forward in terms of the rebuild that we want to see at the club.
Mm-hmm. Same question for you, Luca. How do you feel like this season has gone for you as an Arsenal fan?
To be honest, right, I thought the first 3 games at the start of the season, it didn't go all well. It went all toots and all that stuff. It didn't go to plan. We lost the first 3 games. We lost to Brentford, which was a freak result, just because we had no strikers that day. We had COVID-free hit that day. Chelsea and Manchester City was unstandable. And then we went into the international break, and everybody was crying their pants down. I was as well, saying Mikel Arteta out, all that, etc. And for me, he was under pressure. Like, we lost that game 5-0. Going into that international break in September last year, thinking no wins and 3. You're thinking, right, this is not good enough in my opinion. We need a change. And then we hold on a minute. We bring Aaron Ramsdale in, and we bring Tommy Yasu in, and we're thinking, wow, who are these signings? Yeah, where we were looking at trying to get a midfielder in to try and create and score goals. For me, Aaron Ramsdale and Tomiyasu, we touched on this yesterday on our channel yesterday. And Ramsdale, for me, nobody never knew who he was. He's been relegated with 4 clubs. And for me, Ramsdale's been absolutely brilliant. And for me, yeah, the last few games he's been a bit all over the place, but that's not his fault. It's the defence in general. That's why we've conceded the same amount of goals as last season. So Ramsdale, for me, he has been really good. Tomiyasu is back this weekend, as Arteta confirmed it today, which is brilliant news. So it's making me a little bit more optimistic in this game. So that's quite good. So for me, Tomiyasu and Ramsdale have been really quite good. And they've been 2 good signs. Has changed the whole complexity of the team. We've addressed it. The right back situation, and for me, the goalkeeper situation as well. And for me, yes, I think it's been good with Arteta. For me, I'm still not his biggest fan, but if he does get into the top 4, maybe I will consider changing my mind on him. But other than that, no, he's turned it around, and for me, it's looking good. Yeah, the only issue which is Crawley back in bite into us, is that January transfer window. We didn't address in the midfielders. We were linked to players like Ronaldo, Sanchez and that, and we didn't get any of them in. And big up Jack. And for me, striker as well. We needed a striker. Dusan Vlahovic, just face it, he was never going to come to Arsenal because of the ambitious. He was never going to come. So at the end of the day, right, we have improved. Yeah, okay, those first 3 games, we lost to Southampton, we lost to flipping Brighton, we lost to Crystal Palace, and then we went into the Chelsea game thinking, oh my God, how we expect to go and beat these lot? But we did. We done what we had to do. We done our thing, and then we beat Chelsea. We beat Chelsea and we won 4-2. So for me, we go into this game thinking it's another big test. Manchester United have confirmed today that Harry Maguire will be on the bench. So for me, that's quite good news for you, isn't it?
Well, you could see by my hand gesture, buzzing my head off, let's just say, as an old man could say.
Me, Varane is back, so your Varane is back, so he's going to be playing alongside supposedly meant to be the best Swedish centre-half in the world, Lindelof, right? So them 2 are going to be playing as well. And for me, going to this game, it's going to be a difficult game. It all depends. Like I said on my channel yesterday, my only issue is now Tomiyasu is back. I don't think he'll make it into the starting 11. I think he'll make it to the bench. But my only issue is that right-hand side problem. You've got Cristiano Ronaldo back now. He's going to be ready to play. People might say, oh, Luca, he might not play. He might make it to the bench because of the whole pride. No, he'll play. Ronaldo's going to play. Ronaldo wants to play. And for me, he's going to take what's beside him and all that stuff. And he may still think about his private life, but Ronaldo's going to still play. And I think this game, I'm like, now, if Tomiyasu plays, I'm confident we can beat Manchester United. Like, I'm really optimistic we can beat you. But it just depends how Mikel Arteta sets out. Because before the team selection came on Wednesday night against Chelsea, so I see Rob Holding playing, and I'm starting to think, right, okay. And I know Holding did his thing. He was good and he was okay against Chelsea. But Holding, for me, you don't know what game you're going to get against him. That's the problem.
I'd feel a bit more slightly confident if Holding was playing, I must admit. Just as if Maguire was starting for us, you'd feel a lot more confident. Yeah. And just as Jack has said, I'm buzzing about it, absolutely buzzing. But I know you touched on about no striker for you, Luca, in the January window. Do you feel like, in a way, Arteta is looking a bit like a Pep Guardiola in terms of Pep Guardiola has relied so much on false nines this season? Do you think perhaps maybe this is what Arteta's approach is potentially going to be, look at doing more false nines? Because I feel like for me at the moment, in so many years to come, I feel like the striker role is going to be a bit more outdated, and it's going to be a lot more of these false nines to take teams further.
Well, I just feel the false number 9 is a bit pointless for Arsenal. Like, why would you want to play a false number 9? We're not Manchester City. That's the thing to say. And for me, yes, Arteta may want to go in that direction, but we tried it before. We played Villarreal last season in the Europa League, and Tereak knows this as well. And for me, we played Pepe once in a false number 9, and it didn't work. So technically, you cannot play a false number 9 with the current players what we've got now. And for me, like, we have been linked with a couple of strikers, like not big names, but strikers who we've been linked with, that we say, okay, he's good, we'll take him in. So for me, I just feel, in my opinion, right, how is Arteta? Is he good enough? If he wants to be like Pep Guardiola, to play him as a false number 9, the question is to you two, right? Do you feel Arteta is good enough to suit that kind of style if Guardiola's going to be like Pep Guardiola? Because think about it, he's never going to be like Guardiola. Every manager wants to be like Pep Guardiola as a false number 9. There's nowhere near he ain't going to be like that.
Yeah, with the Pep Guardiola thing, that's a bit difficult because he's one of the greatest managers in the like to ever manage, and we've seen that now.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he is. Maisy will obviously say different with Fergie, of course, with the consistent and continuity. But yeah, what Guardiola's revolutionised the game. So if Arteta has half the career that Guardiola has, then he's going to be a successful manager for Arsenal. So, but with that false 9 thing, Luca, I think we are kind of playing that already. And that's why Lacazette has been playing a lot of games. And even when I saw Eddie was taking up a lot of positions out on the left. And then we was having players like Smith Rowe drift into the middle. He was taking up a lot of wide positions. And that's what I see us trying to do in the future. And that's why we're looking for a striker, not like a Dominic Calvert-Lewin. If he was to play a Dominic Calvert-Lewin, he'd most definitely be a focal point number 9 type of striker. But you want someone with a hybrid. So, do you know, like players that we've been linked with, like Gabriel Jesus today. I'm not sure how credible these links are, but it's telling me the type of profile of player. A Darwin Nunez, who's played on the left wing, who takes up a lot of those spaces off the left too. And I do agree with Mace that the striker position will change. And, you know, Harry Kane. Speaking of Kane, there's Niall Kane in the chat, big up. But yeah, I feel like with Harry Kane's had to evolve his game and become someone who drops a bit deeper and plays like a number 10 and like number 10/9. And then your goals are coming from the wide areas. We're seeing that for Arsenal as well this season. Who's our 2 top goal scorers, Emile Smith-Rowe and Saka with 10+. Yes, they've not scored enough for us to be where we want to be and guaranteed top 4 like contenders. But at the ages they are, you can't discredit that. And I saw the stat afterwards. I saw it on Twitter that the last players at the age of 21 or below to score 10+ goals, the duo was Wayne Rooney and Cristiano Ronaldo in 2006 and 7 season. Yeah, and that says a lot. Like that's ridiculous to be within those names. So I do think that he will try and evolve us in that way because that's what the best teams are doing. And if we are going to try and be the best, which is where I think Arteta wants to take us eventually, that's the route we're going to end up going into that false 9.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do look at the false 9 situation, and I always think that when you look at all these teams nowadays, they're not relying on the natural striker. Even if you look at Chelsea, they paid 90-odd million for Lukaku, but they're still playing Timo Werner up front, who I would consider more as a winger. You've even seen Pulisic, who plays up front, and he is a winger as well. But Jesus there, who Niall has actually touched on, Jesus has actually said that he prefers playing on the wings than he does like playing up front. So if that was the actual case in buying Jesus, where would he fit in terms of this into this Arsenal squad? Will he be playing in the position he doesn't like, or does this mean somebody on the wings is going to be dropped? And I'll go with you Tereak first.
Yeah, with that, if he does prefer playing on the wings, I'm sure with our strikers, they take up a lot of positions out wide anyway. I remember this season, I can't remember who he was against, but he got 3 assists in one game on the right wing, Gabriel Jesus, and people was talking like, right, so he's a right winger then. Yeah, we sorted Jesus, that's the position he is. But with footballers and how fluid they are, like look at Sadio Mane, he's a winger. I know I don't want to mention too much Liverpool players on a Man United channel, but Sadio Mane has taken that new number 9 role, and he was excellent against you guys. And he was still taking up a lot of positions out wide, coming inside. And that's just what I think footballers are going to have to do nowadays. So that's my thoughts on it. What about yours, Luca?
To be honest, like, I just feel, in my opinion, like, you've got to go with like similar to the same what you say, because I just feel with Arsenal that we've got like a very, very young squad at the moment. And I know obviously with our top goal scorers and that, like Saka, for me, he's and Smith Rowe, we haven't scored enough goals this season. And for me, like, I get where you're coming from. Like, do you honestly feel like we don't have enough goal scorers? Like, do you honestly feel like maybe we need to look at that in the summer, or?
For me, you are right. We don't have enough goals coming from the team as a whole, and our attackers are very young, so it's hard to really expect them to hit those heights. So if we are to bring someone who is going to play a more central role, I think they will have to be a bit more of that 24, 25 range and more experience. And someone who's has like a proven track record. They don't even have to score like 20 plus.
Would you take Gabriel Jesus? For me, no. For me, no. I wouldn't take Gabriel Jesus.
For me, yeah, because of his goal record in minutes that he's played. He's not the most clinical striker, but he does score a lot of goals. And if we could play him, get him fit and play him consistently, I reckon he could score about 15 goals a season at least.
But wouldn't Manchester United fans take Gabriel Jesus? For me, the answer with them, they would say no, because they want someone better. They want someone like a
If you want me to be honest about Jesus, I don't. He's a player for me who I don't really particularly rate. He's one of them kind of players like he needs to have 8 shots to actually get a goal. He's one of them type of players for me. And I like a player who is a lot more deadly at finishing just because it excites me a lot more. But and that's the reason probably why I'm a bit angry with Marcus Rashford, Anthony Martial, for the exact same reasons.
Because Martial's on 250 grand a week.
Yeah, he is on 250 grand a week, and hopefully that gets cleared off the wage bill. I was telling Luke about all our wages yesterday, so he's got a bit more knowledge about the wages. But for me, I just feel like if you are going to go for a winger or a striker, you need someone who can do them. I know people say they're only simple tap-ins, but you want them to do them simple tap-ins if they're an actual number 9, or if they're a winger, you like them to put them good crosses in the box. You like them to try and shoot from long ranges, and I just think Jesus, for me, doesn't have them qualities. And I actually think there is better goal scorers at Manchester City than there is of Jesus, like Phil Foden, for one, who I would say is a much better in that false 9 position, and I would probably take. But speaking of Man City, I've seen that there is someone in here from Twitch. Manchester is blue and De Bruyne is better than Fellaini. Very nice. Fellaini hasn't been at the club for many years, so good to know that you actually know a little bit of history about the club. Here is a question for you guys, and I'll go with you first, Luca. Who you think your player of the season is?
To be honest, player of the season, I've got to say, you've got quite a few contenders up there. You've got maybe Ramsdale, you've got Saka, you've got Smith Rowe. For me, I give it to Saka for me. Because Saka, for me, has been consistent. Yeah, okay, there's been games where he's been a bit fatigued and all that stuff. But I think Saka, player of the season, the guy when he's on it, he's fantastic. I mean, for me, he works hard when he can, and I think he deserves player of the season. You could put Smith Rowe up there. Smith Rowe started to pick on a little bit of good form. There has been a few games where he's not been starting. That just comes down to the manager for me. So I'm not going to get into that. But for me, I think Saka, you've got to give him what he's done this season has been absolutely achievable. And for me, him going through the Arsenal academy ranks and making his debut in the Europa League under Unai Emery, I think Saka, you've got to give him player of the season. A lot of people could give it to Aaron Ramsdale. Because when Ramsdale came in, everybody didn't want Aaron Ramsdale, and that included myself. And Ramsdale, for me, has turned it around. And I'd give it to Saka for me. I don't know what you think.
Do you see? I actually agree with Luca in terms of Saka. If I was to give it at this moment, but I want to give him mass. Do you know what? I'm going to say this guy just to be different. I agree with you, Luca, but I think this guy really needs a mention. Martin Odegaard and the importance that he's adding to the side. He's been phenomenal. I remember I'm not a stat. Well, I know I've got Bobby in the chat, that Walter. He's a stats man, but I like stats, but I always like to use context with it. And this one is perfect for me. The fact that Martin Odegaard has, like, no one has created more chances since November than Martin Odegaard. When I saw that stat, I was like, makes sense, because how many chances does he actually create? And it's not even about creating chances, because I know with a lot of Man United fans, with Bruno, he creates a lot, but he gives it away a heck of a lot too. Whereas Martin Odegaard, he's very efficient with the ball, and he's been so important for us in terms of our creativity. If he's not playing well, we don't play well. Have a look at the Chelsea game. He was excellent, and we've scored 4 goals. And that just shows how influential he is. But in the previous games against Brighton and Southampton, we couldn't get him into the game. It's not that he wasn't playing well, because even when he's not having a great game, he will still give you a lot of hard work. And defensively, he'll work hard. And sometimes he works too hard, like we saw in the previous fixture when he gave away the penalty on Fred, and how he did it at Crystal Palace too. But as a leader as well, and he's taken that captain's armband, and I can look at him and say, yeah, that's who I want to be a leader. Hey, Luca, you know how much I love Saka. I got the name in the back of the shirt and everything.
Do you remember though, Tereak? I actually, when you done a stream about who should be Arsenal captain, you actually said Xhaka, and I actually said Odegaard should be captain. Do you remember?
Yeah, you did. Oh, of course, I remember. Yeah, I made a whole stream about it, and you did say Odegaard, and it looks like he will be, and I'm going to be very happy if he is.
To be honest, right, you did mention when Maisy, in one of my streams, what I did, I can't remember what stream it was, but it was quite recently, you did mention and put a comment about Martin Odegaard should be captain. And I think I quoted on it. I said, look, for me, with Martin Odegaard, to him to be a captain, I think he's improved this season. Don't get me wrong, at the start of the season, I wasn't keen on the player, but he has really changed it around, in my opinion, and he has proved me wrong. Everybody knew what I wanted, and for me,
Maddison, was it?
Yes, it was Maddison, correct. But no. Other than that, I just feel Odegaard is captain material. I don't know, to be honest. I'd maybe give it to someone like Kieran Tierney, because people are going to question and say, "Oh yeah, Luca Tierney gets injured. It doesn't matter about injury, man. It's just Kieran Tierney for me. I think what he brings on the pitch is just quality, and maybe Aaron Ramsdale as well. I think someone like that would be a really good idol to be a captaincy, because Odegaard for me is a good player, and he's starting to produce. And for me, he did get Player of the Month in something this year. And Odegaard for me, maybe he might be good as a vice captain, but captain material, I'm not sure, man.
Maybe I'm a bit old class, but I don't like strikers being a captain. I don't like goalkeepers being a captain.
No,
I'm one of them type of people where the person who is the captain, they need to have the influence on the whole pitch. Whereas if you're a striker, you're going to be remaining up top of the pitch. If you're a goalkeeper, you're just staying in your box. Whereas a defender, a midfielder, or a winger perhaps, because I know some people are having the same issues. They don't want a winger as a captain. But they have a lot more influence for me on the pitch. They're more all about, and you kind of need that player. Like if you have a captain as a goalkeeper, what are they commanding? They're commanding the defense. That's it. They're not commanding the midfield. They're not commanding your striker. A striker, that is the exact same. They're not going to command the defense. They're not going to command your goalkeeper. Whereas a midfielder and a defender, they'll be like, if that was, of course, we had Bruno as the captain, he'd be like, you get up over there. De Gea, you actually do better with your distribution. Maguire, get off the pitch. I think Bruno shows a lot more leadership qualities in Man United, but in terms of Arsenal, I think Odegaard is a special talent for me.
Would you take Odegaard to Manchester United?
Well, he plays in a position like Bruno Fernandes does, and for that reason, I would say no. But if we didn't have Bruno Fernandes, I would say yes. But it's because we already have a player of Bruno Fernandes. We couldn't take him to bench him. There'd be no point. If you're going to have a player like Odegaard, he needs to be at a team where he will play every single game or most games. and you know that he's not guaranteed that 100% game time there at Manchester United. And the fact that I was even sceptical of Odegaard myself during the loan deal to think he isn't that much of a good player. Look, he's not that brilliant. I was thinking that, but I think he needed that little bit of time to adapt to the league, and a lot of people never really realise that, especially players, people who don't support the club. They think stats. That's what you usually think. But I think Odegaard, compared to a lot of the Arsenal team, he's got very good football IQ, and them kind of footballers are the footballers that's going to go far. He's, for me, always one step ahead of the opposition team, and I actually think he's your most dangerous player. I really do.
I agree with that, Mace, and I think you're spot on. And the thing is, what I was trying to say to some fans is, with Odegaard, is he's never had a home. He's been at Real Madrid and he's been sent out on loan multiple times. For a player, that's unsettling. And it's how can you really have somewhere that you can really call home and really try and adapt and even build a style around. And now we're seeing that with Odegaard. He's flourishing. I can understand Luca's reservations on Odegaard on that loan spell. He had a few flashes. And those things. And then even at the start of the season, he was in and out the side. So I can definitely understand that. But that's why I was always like, take time with this player. And I'm going to say the same with Sambi Lokonga too. And that's someone who I've been quite critical of in a way, because we have to remember this Premier League in midfield, it's hard to adapt to. And it's not everyone can be a Bruno Fernandes and take to it like a storm and just completely, like, you know, he was the reason why you finished in that top 4 in that season. He came in January. So, yeah, I really am enjoying Odegaard. And Luca, I wouldn't swap Odegaard for Fernandes. Would you?
For me, I'd take Bruno Fernandes over Martin Odegaard all day long.
Would you?
But not now, because Odegaard's a better player than Bruno Fernandes now. But before, if Odegaard wasn't on good form, you'd take Bruno Fernandes.
But the fact that we're saying this that shows how good Odegaard has been. Do you know what I mean?
He needs to keep that consistency. He needs to go into next season and the following season. And then he could be like Bruno Fernandes. There's no good, obviously, doing it for this season.
Yeah, and he's young as well, though. He's still young.
Yeah, he is. He's 23, 24, so...
Nippon has a question here. No, I'm not going to the game. It's all the way down in London, so it'd take me about half the day to get there. Are you going, Tereak?
Nah, I'm not going to the game. I'll be doing a watch along though. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
It's difficult, man, to get tickets. I've got a membership. I've been to some games this season, but yeah, man. And we'll try next season in particular. But yeah.
How many games did you go where they've won?
Oh, all of them? Hey, let me tell you something. Every Arsenal game I've been to, we haven't lost.
Mate,
it must be your good luck.
I know.
It's one of those games where we expect to win.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, it's true.
You expected to win against Brentford, though. You didn't win.
Nah, but Manchester United ladies, I'm sure you pick all the Manchester United ladies to win.
You know what? My actual first Man United women's game this season, it was actually against Arsenal, and we lost 2-0 at home.
You did.
Yeah. I done a vlog on it. I know. I was expecting it though. So, but we've gone to actually, the first 2 games I went to were losses. The first 2 games, I thought it was my
Didn't you go to the City one as well? Was it?
Yeah. Oh yeah, and that was a loss as well. I went to both the City games. I went to one at their ground. I hated it. I hate their ground so much. It's not because it's Man City, it's because there's no back. So you're freezing and the wind's going all over your face, and you literally got the windiest stand going. It was horrible. And the FA Cup game, they battered us 4-1, and I thought, nah, I ain't doing a vlog about this. I can't do a vlog about this. But Jack has got a good question here for both Tereak and for Luca, which I'll go to Luca first. What is the biggest area of improvement for the back end of the season going into next season?
What does he mean by that? Does he mean like what we need to improve?
Yeah, what do you need to improve on?
Right, I think what we need to improve going into next season is pretty simple, really. We need the main. If you talk about the main position, right, it's got to be a striker, in my opinion. because we were talking about midfielders before, but now Odegaard, Smith Rowe are starting to score goals, and we were crying out about midfielders. We still need midfielders anyway, but the main position is the striker, because how much we didn't strengthen anyone in the January transfer window, Jack, is that it goes to show that we need a striker. Nketiah for me, let's not get too paper over the cracks, because Nketiah for me scored on Wednesday night. Let's hope he can do a repeat of scenario tomorrow. But it still ain't going to achieve anything, because he has to go and do it every single game. And that would be the only way which will convince change my mind. But no, striker-wise, we need 2 strikers. We have been linked with a couple of names like Nunes. Niall mentioned in the chat Gabriel Jesus. I didn't know that until you told me, Niall. Big up to that. Nunes will be linked with Jonathan David as well. These are strikers where you kind of feel Nunes is probably the best one out of the bunch. Jonathan David, I don't know much about him, so I can't question anything about that. Gabriel Jesus, I'm not sure about him. And Nunes, for me, I think he's a quality player, in my opinion. And I don't want people to think, oh, yeah, people have just only well known him just for this season. Nobody wasn't talking about him last season or the season before. But we know what he's quality, in my opinion. And yes, it's the Portuguese league. I don't watch the Portuguese league, in my opinion. But what I will say is Nunes, for me, he looks quality, mate. He looks quality for me. And he looks like he's not, I wouldn't say he's a Aubameyang, what he was, a prime Aubameyang was. But he's probably a striker where he could probably get about, I don't know, I don't think he'll get you 20 goals, in my opinion. But I think we need midfielders as well. I think we need to get rid of Xhaka in the summer, because he's shit, in my opinion. So we need a midfielder. I maybe look at
my captain. I'm only joking.
In my opinion, but no, I look at someone, maybe Ruben Neves, Tielemans, someone like that, depending where we are in Europe. We need cover for right back. For me, I look at that Spence guy at Nottingham Forest, or maybe someone better than that. Maybe Dumfries from Inter Milan as well. That's about it, really. So I think we need at least 4 or 5 players at max, and keep the squad together. We can push for top 4 next year.
He's taking all my answers there, Luca. I'm trying to think of some in terms of because I agree with Luca. He definitely is a forward. That's what we need to score more goals. But there's other areas that I'm looking at as well. I know we're bringing in that Matt Turner, so we definitely do need a backup goalkeeper.
And also that crusty person, that defender.
That I think that's more of a business, in terms of North American sales and those things. It's one of those, City ones when they sign a player and they never play and then they sell them. I think that's what we're trying to do. Yeah. But I'm going to say for a different one, I think we need a winger. I think that's another area in terms of improving our goals, because I think we look at a striker and we think, all right, we need a striker because that's going to be the person to score all our goals. But really, how many goals have we scored this season in the Premier League?
I know we've conceded 39 goals, the same amount as Mikel Arteta. We all thought we were going to fix the defence, but we clearly haven't. Where's he gone now? He's disappeared.
I'm looking at it. You have scored 49 goals this season. And looking at the previous season, you literally scored just 6 less goals. You've scored 6 more goals than what you have done. Well, 6 more goals last season. And if there's a couple more games left of the season, you'll be able to get that.
I clicked the X button. I was trying to get in. And then just to try and check how many goals we actually have scored.
Yeah, you scored 49 goals this season, but you're only 6 more away from hitting the same amount what you did last season.
49 goals.
That's not good. And we can't expect a striker to come in because we need to score. If we're going to be where we want to be, we need to score 80 goals. We can't expect a striker to score, 30 plus goals or 26 goals in the first season. So that's why I'm saying
Liverpool scored.
I think they're on 70 odd.
Liverpool have scored 7. Oh, wait, I'm 83 at the previous season now.
83 goals.
83 goals. Man City scored 75 goals. Chelsea scored 66. So that's what the top 3 is at this moment in time. And if you look at how many goals they're conceding only they've only conceded 20 plus goals. They haven't conceded that many goals at all. So it's like you're conceding less a goal a game.
That's why I'm saying we need a winger as well, a right winger in particular, maybe a Rafinha. Those I don't think we'll get Rafinha, but someone of that mold who can score maybe another 10 plus goals to add to your Sakas, your Smith Rows. Because I hope that their goal scoring tally will improve next season, but it's not going to go up to like 15. It's not going to go to 20. Do you know what I mean? Like it might go up to a few, like maybe 15 tops each, and that's a really good improvement. So that's what I'm saying. We need someone to contribute a bit more. Do you know what Pepe did last season? He scored 16 goals in all competitions. If we can get someone to do that next season, then we should be good, as well as a striker. You know what I mean? Definitely.
Walter said about you saying Xhaka is your captain. Is he still your captain for you now?
Oh, I mean, no, Lacazette is our captain, but I would still pick him because I like him as a person. I definitely know he's limited in ability, but so was Mikel Arteta when he was our captain. But he still had the right kind of character, and that's why, I do like him. I would take him, but I can understand the fan base wouldn't want him at all.
Nippens asked the question for me, who I would take from Arsenal. You need, when you say like I'd take this person, this person, this person, I always look at where Manchester United are struggling in, because you could easily say, oh, I'd take Saka or I would take Odegaard, but you look at them areas and you think, well, there's areas more at improvement for Manchester United, and if I was going to pick, I'd pick Kieran Tierney just because we need a proper fullback who is able to do the job. We don't, for me, our fullbacks are poo. Absolute poo. I could literally say a Norwich fullback is better than Dalot, better than Wan-Bissaka, better than Luke Shaw and Tellers put together, probably. And people disagree with me to say that Tellers is probably our best fullback. A lot of people think Dalot is. I don't know what both your opinions is on that, but I despise Dalot as a player. I really do, just because people think he's brilliant at going forward. I've not seen him put one good cross in all season when he has played, and he's played the same amount of appearances as Wan-Bissaka. I can't name one good cross. He hasn't even provided any goals or assists. If you're an attacking fullback, you need to be a bit like Trent Alexander-Arnold to create these chances. If not, you're trying to assist and put the crosses in. He doesn't put any good crosses in. He's awful at defending. He got rid of his duels. He misses simple duels. I know Andrew has said in the past Wan-Bissaka's our better right back, and when you look at it, he probably is, just because he is a better defender and he's better defensively than Dalot, and Dalot can't do either for me. So for me, Kieran Tierney is good at both. I think he is. I wouldn't say he's like the best fullback in the league, but he's easily in the top 5 for me in fullbacks, and is Scotland international, and he's still only very young as well, Kieran Tierney, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, 24.
So he's only 24, so he's about to hit his prime near enough at Arsenal. So that would be the reasons for me why I would take Kieran Tierney, because the fullback issue is just an absolute joke. But Nippon has got a question for both Tereak and Luca. Who would you take from Man United? And you can't say Ronaldo. I'll go with you first, Tereak.
It's a great question, that is, and I've been trying to think of it ever since I've seen it, Nippon, so it's a good one. I know he's leaving. Paul Pogba for me. I know the issues with him in terms of, like, with his relationship with the fans, and I think he's kind of had a bit of a Xhaka as well. And even though he's more gifted than Xhaka for sure, he's a better player. But in terms with the fans, a lot of people love and hate him. There's a bit of that divide. There's never an in-between. But Paul Pogba, could you imagine in that left side of midfield with the base at Thomas Partey, Odegaard? Oh, my word. That would be amazing. Yeah.
You could potentially get him. He's on a free.
I know, but I don't think we'll pay the wages that him and Mino Raiola would want. Do you know what I mean? So I would definitely take Paul Pogba in Dreamland. Is there anyone else? But what about you? Who did you said you take? Was Tierney?
Yeah, Tierney would be one who I'd take.
Do you know how bad that is? The fact that there's not many Man United players that I take. Like, that's crazy.
Well, wouldn't you? What about Sancho?
Yeah, I like Sancho, but
Saka.
yeah, Saka and Smith Rowe, isn't it? You know what I mean? Hail them boys. So yeah, it's like Bruno's obviously good, but I wouldn't take him over Odegaard because I like Odegaard. And just the same way with you, like you probably wouldn't take Saka over Sancho because you probably like Sancho.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people at the moment are disliking Bruno Fernandes at Man United, but I always think about what Bruno Fernandes has done at Manchester United, and I always think if we never had before we had Bruno Fernandes, you probably remember we was lacking creatively so badly. We wasn't scoring. There was no passion there. There's no passion now, but there was no passion there either. And we needed that little bit of spark. Bruno Fernandes comes in January transfer window, and he got the goals, he got the assists, he helped us get to third, and that was actually based off goal difference, actually. And then he goes to second, and he's the highest scoring midfielder in the Premier League now. And a lot of people are like, well, he what has he done this season? Second highest chances created in the Premier League. He in the Champions League, there was only one game he didn't assist in. Every other game he assisted in the Premier League. He still managed to get for a midfielder not bad goals, and he's not even had any penalties, so you can't even call him Fernandes. So I think he's one of them players where if his presence in there, he is missed. And I just think he's one of them players at Manchester United. Like, there's going to be them players there at Arsenal, but I just think, no Bruno, everything just goes pear-shaped for me, 100%. And I've seen it for Wolves, because thought Bruno dropped. When he dropped, it didn't work. So that's why I always think Bruno needs to be at Manchester United. And just for what he's done alone, makes me love the player he is, just for who he is. But Luca, who would you take from Man United? And you can't say Ronaldo.
Sorry about that, but no. Basically, who I would take at Manchester United, in my opinion, I would personally maybe take Bruno Fernandes. In my opinion, I think Bruno Fernandes is a really, really good player. In my opinion, I think he scores goals at Manchester United, doesn't he? So for me, I'd 100% take him. So, but no, other than that, Ronaldo for me back in his prime. But I don't know. Would anyone take Cristiano Ronaldo right now, or anyone like that?
Nah.
I think if like Arsenal, who they are at right now, they're a developing young team, and this is what Manchester United should be like realistically. So, in reality, Cristiano Ronaldo does not suit Mikel Arteta's team, because you're a very young team. You've proved that this season. You're a young team. You're getting rid of these older players, and all Lacazette's out of his contract, isn't he, in the summer too? So if you are wanting to go by Mikel Arteta's philosophy, which he has picked by no commercial signings, by picking these young players who not many people have seen much of, it's going to work. And a Cristiano Ronaldo would be the wrong choice. But if you remember, Ronaldo was actually linked before he was linked to us many years ago.
Like, I remember when Cristiano Ronaldo, Arsene Wenger tried to buy Cristiano Ronaldo, but Wenger come out and make an excuse and said that we were a few £1 million away.
Yeah, and I think the big one was when United played them in the friendly against Sporting Lisbon, and I think it was at a half time. Sir Alex Ferguson said, "You need to sign that Ronaldo," and they obviously, Man United, they were always going to like trump us for cash, and yeah, that friendly. If you never played that game, things could be so much different. Probably not with our owners.
Niall has a question for you both. I'll go with you first, Tereak. Do you think Arsenal may have got it wrong with getting rid of their former manager, Unai Emery, who is now doing bits at Villarreal, who's guided them to a semi-final?
Nah, we haven't, because at the end, towards the end of Emery's tenure, we were shocking. We were bad. I think we were in like 13th place in the league.
We were very shocked, in my opinion. We were very, very, very shocked because the thing is, under Unai Emery, right, he took us in 5th place, and then
a European final
with a weak squad: Liechtenstein, Socrates, Danny Welbeck, Ramsey.
A lot of experienced players, though. A lot of experienced players.
Well, yeah, a lot of even Cole Jenkinson as well, and he was part of that 8-2 of Manchester United. So for me, Unai Emery is a very good manager, in my opinion.
But even now, he's not doing that great.
No,
in the league
and I made a video on it the other day, and for me, Unai Emery getting to a semi-final of a European trophy, I feel embarrassed because for me, Mikel Arteta has he got to a European final? No, he has not. And Unai Emery has won the Europa League. He almost won the Super Cup against Chelsea. And Unai Emery, do you feel honestly, Tereak, we should have given Unai Emery a chance?
I think it went so bad towards the end. He lost the dressing room, and when that happens, there's no way back for any manager, unfortunately. And this is the thing that I've said is probably about timing. It's the exact same thing with Manchester United and David Moyes. You're bringing in because nobody's questioning David Moyes as a good manager, but to come in after our longest serving manager in Arsene Wenger, and for David Moyes to come in after Alex Ferguson, it's just too much. It's too big of a step. It is difficult, and you're going to need someone like it's a poison chalice in that way. So maybe Unai. I've said this. If Unai Emery came in now, then yeah, I think you'd have a better time of it because.
But do you feel if Unai Emery came now, right? Yeah. Do you honestly think it will be a same situation again, or because the players are not, or do you think it's kind of changed? If Unai Emery was still our manager right now, right, and we gave him a chance, write this down. Say if he was our manager right now, where would we be as a football club?
I mean, we weren't signing the right players. We didn't.
Nobody wouldn't know until you see it. So.
Well, it's hypotheticals though, isn't it? So like you don't know. But this is what I'm saying. Villarreal, they're not doing that great in the league themselves. So if Unai Emery, if Arteta's 8th right now, but we're in a semi-final of the Champions League, trust me, Arsenal fans would not be happy because we're like, right, unless we win this competition, it's a failure of a season. And there's so much like narrative involved. Look, like I've heard David Moyes come out and says, I wish I took that job later because if he was older, more experienced. And Arteta, I think a lot of the time we forget this is Arteta's first job. Like Unai Emery's a well-travelled and experienced seasoned manager. This Arteta, listen, Bukayo Saka has more experience as a footballer than Arteta does as a manager.
Well, he does, because if you think about it, right, Saka for me he came under Unai Emery, okay? Yeah. Whereas Mikel Arteta, he's just come in, right? We bring in a PE teacher, right, who's got no fucking experience whatsoever, right? And then that's it.
Got a trophy though.
True.
And he won a trophy of the week squad.
You're clenching onto that FA Cup trophy, you Arsenal fans.
It's important, though. We have to. It's the game, isn't it?
It is.
You guys finished second, and you didn't get a trophy, Mace.
You know what I mean? No, of course not. Exactly.
No, we just got a failure in the Europa League, having Villarreal knock us out on penalties. That was our season defined, anyway.
Exactly.
A good question here, though, because I always think of it from a Man United point of view. I'd say we're easily 5 years from winning the Premier League, but as an Arsenal point of view, I'll go with you, Luca. How long do you think it'll take for you to win the Premier League?
Look, this is basically simple, and I've said this in the past. We will never win the league, right, with these owners in charge. It's true, isn't it? Yeah, because the thing is, we will never win the league with these owners in charge, how the football clubs run. In my opinion, if we want to compete with Liverpool, Manchester City, you're talking about 5 years' time, or maybe longer than that, because we need to get rid of the Cronkies, and we need to bring in new owners in. Because the thing is, because the Cronkies, what we've got now, they don't spend no money whatsoever, and we're not going to be going anywhere with this football club, right? With these owners in charge, and for me, like it all comes down to the fan base, in my opinion, right? It does, because people could blame the owner, whatever they want. Right, but it's the fan base in general, because the fan base needs to stop buying merchandise, need to stop doing this, stop doing that, stop redoing your season tickets, all that stuff, right? So that's the only way you're going to get your owner out, or someone comes in and invests more money, and this owner ain't going anywhere, right? Because Stan Kroenke is full control of the club, right? but Josh Kroenke mainly does the main work for him. Stance's too busy in America doing what he has to do. So technically, the Kroenkes ain't going anywhere. It's the same as the Glazers as well. And we touched on this yesterday, Maisy, when on my channel yesterday, we touched on about Ten Hag coming in, right? He has been told that he has to have full control of the football club. And for me, yes, Rangnick is obviously going to be going upstairs as the technical director, but the Glazers, right? They need to set up. And if Manchester United want to be similar to us and not be in the mud, right, then Manchester United, for me, have to get rid of the Glazers. And the thing is, what you did was last year with your when you had all your fans like invading the stadium last year, right? We didn't do any of that. We did a protest last year, right? But the biggest protest we ever done, which actually was getting Arsene Wenger out of the football club.
It's true. In terms of how long, literally how long are Pep Guardiola and Jurgen Klopp going to be in the league, because no one's winning the league whilst they're here.
Yeah.
And maybe unless Liverpool go on a rebuild or something at some point, but sorry, like these are two of the best managers in the world. Like I agree with Luca. I can't see us winning the league under the Kroenkes, but you could give us a top owner. We're still not winning the league with these managers. Like, it's going to be difficult to play because these managers have years. Like, people forget, like, Jurgen Klopp is the longest serving manager in the league right now.
He is now, yeah.
And Pep Guardiola is not far off of him. These guys are built upon years. So for even Arsenal to get there, we're going to have to like hope that these guys like either go through a rebuild and we can capitalize on one season and everything falls into place and take our opportunity. And two, then they're going to have to leave because these teams have been built together like for a long time. And those things, they've gone through the ups and downs. City, Liverpool, last season was Liverpool. And you can also say probably last season's was City with the Champions League. So, yeah, I can't see us winning the league whilst these managers.
We're not going to win anything, Tereak, anytime soon anyway with this owner in charge.
Hey, FA Cup maybe. We could then.
That's the FA Cup, man.
No, you missed your FA Cup chance this season, didn't you? Who was it against? Nottingham Forest?
Yes, mate, I still get bantered by Dawn at all on that. You know what I mean?
Hey, Liverpool, the finalists, they were quite lucky to get past Forest. You know,
yep,
Forest were quality.
A scrappy win, wasn't it? To be honest, but nowhere here has said all the players who should leave Man United: Pogba, Lingard, Cavani, Matic, Mata, Grant, Jones, Telles, Wan-Bissaka, Bayer, Rashford, Martial, Williams, Maguire, Heaton, Mata, Chung.
Oh.
And you know what? I actually agree with the majority of them as well.
Apart from one, Telles, you keep, the rest can go.
I'd probably keep him as a backup. I'd say even Heaton, no harm in keeping him, and the rest of them gone. To be honest,
a lot of players.
It is a lot of players who I think should leave, but I would add Dalot into that list, by the way.
A lot of them are on their contracts expiring, so a lot of them will leave too.
We've got 4 players out of contract. Plus, we do also have Matic, who's already come out and said he's leaving at the end of the summer. He wrote a post about it on social media saying that he's spoke to the board, he spoke to the manager, and he's decided that this season is going to be his last season at Manchester United. So there's projected at least 5 players to leave, and that's not including Martial, who wants to leave.
And Van de Beek, maybe.
I think, especially now Ten Hag's coming, I think Donny might have a more influential role, but I do worry about Donny in a way, just because you're going on loan to Everton and you're still not getting game time. You're getting game time over Dele Alli, and you're not getting game time. Dele Alli's getting more games, sorry. And I look at it and it raises a lot of alarm bells for me, because I think, right, why is he not playing? People thought Ollie had an agenda against him, but then Ralph wasn't playing him. Michael Carrick didn't play a Premier League game with him. So there's 3 managers alone who wasn't playing him. So that raised alarm bells. Then now there's a 4th manager in Frank Lampard. The last game that Donny played for Everton was on the 13th of March against Wolves.
Wow.
And I'll probably, a lot of people disagree with me on this, but I do question, is there something to do with Donny's attitude or Donny's mentality and training to not be picked?
Donny Van de Beek's attitude, though, because Frank Lampard's not actually playing him that much.
But why would, if you've got a good technical player of Donna who has been shortlisted for Ballon d'Or many years ago under Ajax, he should be a regular starter, especially in this declining Everton team.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. Like they're lacking that sort of creativity, and someone who can play in that 8 role, in the way that Donny can, and we have seen him in the Netherlands. But we've also seen a lot of players come from the Eredivisie and absolutely flop in the Premier League. Vincent Janssen, Kesman at Chelsea for the older fans. But yeah, we've seen loads of that. That it's hard. It's hard for any player to come out of that Ajax team and thrive. I wouldn't even say Hakim Ziyech has thrived at Chelsea. I know he's started to come of late now, but it's such a meticulous way, and it's so like, for one, you're in the Eredivisie, so yes, you're still pressure to win because you're up against sides like PSV, but your goal is the Champions League. So it's at Man United, it's completely different. Every game's important. You lose one game, it's terror. It's like the same at Arsenal. If you lose a game, we're the worst team in the world. We're a shambles. Do you know what I mean? Like that's how it is. Whereas at Ajax, like I don't think a lot of people know that they've just lost their cup final to PSV.
We did,
Like
yeah.
so, but no.
Was it 3-1 or 2-1 or something? I can't remember if it was 2 or 3-1. I watched it, but I just can't remember. I feel like there was a last-minute goal there, and I know Ajax had a goal ruled out. I think it was 2 or 3-1, and Ajax had a goal ruled out.
Yeah. And see what I mean? Like that's just the way it is. Whereas everybody knows Man United's result. So yeah.
Well, Helen has got a very good question here. Do you think you have any chances of getting top 4? For me, no. And it just feels like at the moment we're having to rely on other teams dropping points for us to think, oh, we got somewhere. And then when other people drop points, we drop points. So it's just one of them. It feels like nobody wants top 4. But if I was going to pick who will get top 4, I'm actually going to go for Arsenal. I never thought I'd say that.
You think maybe we're going to get top 4?
I do. I really do. And I think it'll come to last day of the season, just like the league will. Just like relegation will for Everton. I think everything will come last day of the season because relegation is picking up points where you won't think it. Top 4 are dropping points where you won't think it. And the top 2, they just keep gaining points, and it's about who's going to drop points. But Luca, how likely do you think it's going to be for Arsenal to get top 4?
Look, I've said this before on my channel, and I say it again. Like, we need to keep if we play like we did against Chelsea when we beat Chelsea 4-2 on Wednesday. The thing is, we've got to go into this game against Manchester United, and for me, it's about we have to win these sort of games. We've got to keep the consistency. Yes, we've got injuries now. We've lost Thomas Partey. We've lost Tierney. Tomiyasu is back, which is very good, and whether he's going to start, that's the question for tomorrow against Manchester United. So, for me, look, we can get top 4, but these are the type of games we have to win. We beat Chelsea in the week at Stamford Bridge, so the thing is, Manchester United and West Ham, right? We have to win those 2 games, and for me, look, we can get top 4, but I don't think we'll get top 4. I think Spurs are going to get it. So. But it's just about the consistency. Look, it's just about the consistency where we just got to keep these run of games. Let's hope these players get fit. Yeah, we've lost quite a lot of injuries, but you never know, man. It's just like if we draw tomorrow against you lot, we'd go 1 point clear of Tottenham before Tottenham play their game against Brentford at 5:30. So if Brentford beat Spurs, we'll be in the top 4 anyway. Means we have to go and beat West Ham, and hopefully Tottenham lose their next game, whoever they got. I think it's Leicester they got next after Brentford. I'm not 100% sure.
And they've still got to play Liverpool as well.
And they still got to play us. So it could come down to the North London derby. I don't want it to come down to the North London derby. I want us to go and beat Manchester United tomorrow, and I want us to go and beat West Ham on the 1st of Maisy. If we can win those 2, maybe top 4, it wouldn't be equivalent to be secured, but it will look us into a great position for us. But I think Spurs are going to get 4th, in my opinion.
What about you there, Tereak?
It's so hard. It's difficult. And we definitely do have a chance of top 4. And that's because of, let's be real, it's the failures of other teams. Like, we've lost 11 games. As you said, you brought up Mace. We haven't drawn a lot of games. I wish we actually drew some of the games that we lost.
Yeah.
Like even the City game where we were the better side at the Emirates. Take a draw at the least, but we couldn't. Even against you guys, we were good enough to win it, but all right, let's settle with a draw. But yeah, so if I agree with Luca, like a draw's not the end of the world if Tottenham lose, but I feel like it might come down to that Tottenham game, Luca, and I don't
want it to become down to the Tottenham game, but it's going to be looking in that way because
we'll drop points before that.
If United beat us next week, tomorrow, right, then they're back in the mix, and then technically, then they could, and if Tottenham lose, then Manchester United could go ahead of us on goal difference.
Exactly.
So that's not going to look good, and we'll go back into sixth. And if West Ham win their game, they'll be 3 points behind us. So it's going to be back as it was compared to last week. So we need to win this game tomorrow. And my only issue I'm worried about is I hope, fingers crossed, Tomiyasu plays, and I hope he does play because Cristiano Ronaldo, we've got to stop Ronaldo for Manchester United because for me, Ronaldo is a great player, and for me, we have to keep him quiet. And for me, like, United have got injuries and all that stuff. Like I remember, like Maisy, remember we touched on yesterday? I think it was you touched it on yesterday. We talked about Hector Herrera, and Herrera.
Oh yeah, Herrera at Man United, yeah.
And Herrera, for me, he was an absolutely great player for Manchester United. Like he
couldn't stand him though, for a good reason.
No,
for one particular reason, but as overall ability, I love him. I love him.
Exactly.
But I'm just worried about the right-hand side. Like for me, like it depends who plays in that right-back position. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, Arteta has a plan so we can stop Cristiano Ronaldo from this game. Sancho on his day can be good. Marcus Rashford, born and bred, he could technically turn up. But Rashford, for me, he's been dreadful. He's been dog-shite. So technically, he just hasn't been turning up. So look, we can beat you, but I'm just worried about how Arteta is going to set out. We play like we did against Chelsea. We can beat Manchester United.
Mm-hmm. To Vincent's question, I am doing Aston Villa away on Sunday, but I don't have any other away games because there's only 3 games left of the season. Probably some more next season, though. Here's a good question for myself from Helen, who I'd like to take under Ten Hag. And it's going to be interesting in terms of Ten Hag. I really want Timber, though, from Ajax. I think he's very strong. His tackles are immense. He's still only very young, so he's still due to hit his prime. So I think that he would be the right person for me. I know there's other players there. Gravenberch, who is already making his way to another team, but he will be another player who I would have took. Anthony, another. But I think we need to prioritize a lot of more positions first. I'd prioritize a midfielder, a holding one, and I'd prioritize a right back first before I prioritize the centre back issue. But if I was gonna go with a holding midfielder, I'd take Calvin Phillips. Any Leeds fans in the chat, don't hate on me. And in terms of right back, it's a hard one because I actually don't think there's that many good right backs about, but I want someone who's a bit like Reece James because I think he's actually the best fullback in the league, in my personal opinion, anyway. But we'll finish it up anyway. We'll do our lineup prediction and we'll do our score prediction. Jack, I seen a comment before from Jack, and he said give Tereak a season ticket, so we must be a big fan of you.
Big up, Jack. If you're still here, I know you said you had to leave, but yeah, get me that season ticket for Arsenal. We won't lose a game then, Luca. You'll be happy. We'll be happy.
Not, man, because let's hope. Give me a cheap season ticket and I'm on it.
Exactly.
So let's do our lineup prediction first of all, and we'll go with you first, Tereak. Who are you going to have in your starting 11?
All right, Ramsdale in goal for sure. If Tomiyasu's fit, I would go with Tomiyasu. But if he's not fit, I'm going to stick with Ben White at right back, which will mean Holding comes back into centre back with Gabriel. I'd play the same back 5 in terms of Ramsdale and the back 4. In midfield, I'm going to go with the same midfield of Xhaka and El Nene. I'm actually going to play the same team against... I'm going to play the same team against as we used against Chelsea, but I'll bring in Gabriel Martinelli for Emile Smith Rowe just for this game. Like, I actually champion Emile Smith Rowe, and I think his game is more technically refined and sophisticated. So I think he's more ready, basically, to be playing for Arsenal on a regular basis. Whereas Martinelli, how outstanding that kid is, but still needs to sort up on his decision making, score more goals and those things. But for this game, I want him up against whoever's playing right back for Man United. If it's Dalot, if it's Wan-Bissaka, give him nightmares, please. And Eddie Nketiah starts as well. If he scores...
Yep, he does good. But you need to think about it. I always say you never change a winning team. If a team's a winning team, you don't change it. And you've won against a very good Chelsea side. I know they had a few people out, but Chelsea are still third place, so they're a good team. And to win against this Chelsea team, it speaks levels, and that you wouldn't change your team in that kind of respect. But I'll go with you now, Luca. Are you going the same as Tereak in terms of lineup?
Well, the lineup I'll go with, like I mentioned this on our channel yesterday when you came on the mine yesterday. I would bring Martinelli, because Martinelli is the player where, like, remember that Liverpool game, Tereak, when he showed and that passion against Liverpool, and I think it was he took on Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Yeah.
And like Martinelli and Liverpool fans were saying after the game that that's the only player they'll take. And Jurgen Klopp is looking at him. But lineup wise, I go for Ramsdale in goal. Depending on how Mikel Arteta did against Chelsea the other day, I hope he doesn't go with Ben White at right back or Rob Holding, because for me, I am a bit concerned on that because of Cristiano Ronaldo and all them lot. So for me, I'd go with, if Tomiyasu, fingers crossed, is fit. I don't think he's not going to be fit, but that's who I'll go for. So I'll go with Cedric at right back, Ben White, Gabriel, Tavares as well. Midfield, I have to go with Xhaka and Mohamed El Neni. Or you could play like Maisy. Remember when we said yesterday that Xhaka and El Neni doesn't work? You have to go with possibly Granit Xhaka in midfield because he's got the experience. You go with Emile Smith Rowe, and then you probably have to go with Martin Odegaard in the number 10, and then you go with bringing Martinelli in, and then you play Martinelli, and then you play Saka on the two wide widths, and then you play Nketiah up front. That's what I would go for, because for me, you've got Martinelli. He brings that energy, and he'll cause Manchester United problems on the fullbacks. He'll cause Manchester United. He'll cause Wan-Bissaka and Telles problems. And for me, Wan-Bissaka for me hasn't been the best this season for Manchester United. So that's why. So for me, I go with Martinelli. And Nketiah for me, if he continues his good form like he did against Chelsea, scoring a couple of goals against us, then possibility that's who I'll go for.
Yeah, and for my lineup, because there is actually a couple of players out. There's Cavani out. There's Cavani out. There is Fred out.
Cavani, Fred,
Pogba out. Luke Shaw. So it's not looking good. Paul Pogba's out for the remainder of the season, because I've seen Niall said he'd do the same lineup as Norwich, but there's a couple of injuries from that Norwich game. So I'm going to go with De Gea in goal. I think Dalot will stay where he is, so you'll get a couple of goals.
Oh, yes, Martinelli against Dalot. Give me that.
I think it's going to be Lindelof and Varane who's going to be in the centre-back after hearing what's going on with Maguire being benched. Never thought I'd hear the day, so buzzing. Buzzing for an Arsenal fan, buzzing for United fan. Telles on the left back, because there's no other left backs now. And I don't think Ralph will make the same mistake of using two right backs as a full back. It doesn't make sense. I think it's going to be Matic is going to come in. I don't think he's going to risk Scott McTominay, because he's been out for quite a while. Coming back through for Scott McTominay, I think it could be a bit much. And I'd personally rest him for the following game. It's Chelsea, so I think we kind of need Scott McTominay's presence there for Chelsea, in my opinion. I think Bruno Fernandes stays in. Oh my God, I'm thinking of it now. Baby Scott has to go in, because we don't have Pogba. Yeah, Scott will probably have to go in now.
Yeah, Pogba's out. So technically, you have to go with Scott McTominay and Matic. But has Matic and Scott McTominay, question, has Matic and Scott McTominay played together this season, and has it worked?
They have played together. It hasn't been too bad, actually. But I prefer Matic alongside a proper central midfielder like Pogba.
If
So
Scott
it can
McTominay
work.
plays, I reckon he's getting a red card.
But as well, though, Scott McTominay plays a bit more natural position when Matic is on the pitch because Scott is a more box-to-box midfielder, whereas Matic is a proper holding midfielder, and it's not fair for players to be played out of position because the board doesn't want to fund in the right areas. But I think Alanga stays where he is. Sancho stays in the left, Alanga the right. Bruno is the 10, and I think Ronaldo comes back to where he is too. So that's what I think my starting 11 lineup will be. Interesting. But everyone in the chat, get involved for the lineup the score prediction. Luca, what's your score going to be?
Well, score prediction, I'm going to go for, look, like I said, I'm confident we can get something out of the game. It just depends if Tomiyasu plays and all that stuff. If he plays and if Arsenal come out with a plan, and we played like we did against Chelsea, I'm going to go for a 2-1 Arsenal.
Yes!
I'm going to stick with my guns. Like, I did have 2 predictions. I went for a draw, mathematically for a draw 2-2, but I'm going to go for a win. I'm going to go for 2-1 Arsenal. I think we'll win this game. I don't think it will be easy. I can see Manchester United scoring first, in my opinion.
Oh, really? You think we'll come back and win?
No, I do. I think we can come back. Possibility. Like, I'm not saying this as I'm not like exaggerating or anything, but I just feel we could come back because Arsenal would probably get a massive kick in at half time, thinking this is a massive game. They don't want to make mistakes. So no, I think United will score first. I think Ronaldo or Bruno Fernandes will score first, and then Arsenal will come back and get 2. I think Martinelli's is gonna step up. And I think either Smith Rowe is going to score in this game. So for me, I'm going to go for 2-1 Arsenal, man.
Interesting. There's a range of different ones already. Like Walter's gone for a 2-2. Wills has gone for another Ronaldo hat-trick. Interesting. Vincent's gone 3-0 United. And Andrew has gone 3-1 to Arsenal. Could be worse. So more in favour for Arsenal at this moment in time. What are you going to go for, Tereak?
Well, me and Luca, when I jumped on his channel to do the Southampton preview, we both predicted a loss and we got it right. So hopefully now we predict a win because I'm going for a 2-0 Arsenal win. Niall, I used to like you, man. Nah, I still do, but that's broken my heart. That has. I think we will win 2-0. I think I'm being brave by saying that we'll keep a clean sheet though. I do know that because with our defensive issues at the moment, I do. Yeah, I think 2-0 win. I'm hoping we do. And if we do that, then Mace, I'm after you.
Why not, man? Why not?
I remember when we won. As soon as we won,
you was after me. Exactly.
Maisy, man. You remember when you beat us 3-2 at Old Trafford, man? Like literally, I remember that. Like,
I was coming for Luca and I was coming for Tereak.
No. You were coming for me first because you expect me to come on my channel to expect me to do a rant. And it was your birthday.
Yeah, no, because I seen like Luca was putting like loads of like snaps on. I'm gonna rant after this game. I thought I've got to watch this. I've got to watch it. So I sat there eating cake. Like, ooh, okay.
Yeah, loads of snaps.
But and then I came after Tereak afterwards. But I was being reasonable. I was being reasonable where you went wrong in the game.
Yeah. And then we also, because we spoke about your issues as well, because I was mad. Honestly, I was so mad. I was like, nah, how are we losing to this terrible United side? They were shocking on the day as well.
Exactly. Niall's gone for a 2-0 United, but you know what? I'm actually going to go for a draw. I really see it being a draw. And I'm going to go with the same score what Walter done, 2-2.
Oh, man.
I just feel like, for me, Manchester United at this moment in time, they've come off for a loss from Liverpool. We conceded 2 against Norwich. So we've got such a leaky defence. Hopefully it's different without Maguire, but we're having these fullbacks. I really worry. I honestly worry a lot. But I think with Ronaldo coming in, I think he will want something to prove. And I think knowing that Bruno scored in the last Arsenal game, I think I can do it again. So I think that's what will end up happening. And I think Odegaard will have a time of his life scoring a goal, probably outside the box. I could just imagine it, just shooting from outside the box, and he scores it. And I feel sick thinking about it, but I feel like that will happen. 2-2 I'm going to go for. But if it's a win for United, guess who's going to be in both of your DMs?
Blocked.
Mate, I know exactly who's going to message me if Manchester United win. Everybody's going to Niall's going to message me, right? And he's going to be like, Luca, ran, do a ran, go live, set a thumbnail, quick, do a ran. I want you to hear your opinion. You're going to message me straight away. Reese is going to be on to me as well. So everyone's going to be going mad. And man. Let's see, man. Let's see. And good luck tomorrow, man. All the best, whatever.
No good luck, Luca. No good luck. We need to beat them.
Yes. Good game it will be tomorrow. Battle for top 4. Thank you, Luca. Thank you for Tereak for coming onto the channel.
No worries, man. Great show, man. We have to do this again quite often, man.
We definitely do. We'll shout out your socials as well, and I'll start with you, Luca. Where can we find you?
Yeah, firstly, I created an Instagram account called Luca Quarter 94, which is the 94 is my date of birth. So technically, follow me on Instagram. We did get over 100 followers. Obviously, when I only created Instagram on Sunday, so technically we did get over 134 followers in 2 days. Wow. So let's hope we can keep that consistency. And follow me on Twitter, MartinNeAFC1. Follow me on YouTube. This is Luca's Life with apostrophe. We are on the road to 1,700 subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, always turn the notifications on. Always look at my community tab, and I will look the same as yours. But Maisy, good luck for tomorrow. And we'll sort out a match with you at some point throughout the weekend. And thanks for having me on, man. Much appreciated.
Thank you for coming on, and bad luck to you for the game tomorrow. I'm only kidding, Luca. Good luck for you too. Tereak, good to have you on. Finally, we're doing a preview together, just as we both wanted for so long. Where can we find you?
Thank you for letting me come on, Mace. I really enjoyed it. Nice chatting with you again, Luca, as well. Top man, as always. But yeah, you can find me, Tereak Talks, over on YouTube, people. I'm trying to get to 400 subscribers, people. I'm on 17 away, I believe. Hopefully I haven't lost any since. But yeah, to come subscribe, Tereak Talks. Follow me on Twitter, whichever your preferred social media platform is. I need to start getting work on TikTok. I need to be more active on the socials as well. So guys, but yeah, come check me out on Tereak Talks.
Arteta out.
So I also, because you need to get to 500 subs before you can start using your community page, if I'm correct. So guys,
that is correct.
I need to get there. I need to use the community page. Be like Mace and Luca.
I hope you get 500 subscribers, man. I always help people out.
You deserve it.
I helped Maisy get to 600 subscribers, so I can help you get to 500 if you want.
There you go, man.
He actually did. He got me loads of subscribers. He got me 10 subscribers or something in a matter of minutes, and he got me to 600. So,
Luca, I need you,
Luca, for that.
You will, man. You will, man.
Everyone who isn't subscribed to either Luca or Tereak, the link is in the description below for both the channels. Tereak, he does more for base football general, so you won't hear much Arsenal conversation. Don't you worry about it. Luca, if you want to hear some of his rants, you can catch Luca there as well. I'll be next live. It will be next week on Tuesday. I will be doing a Chelsea preview.
I'm sure I will be doing a live stream, and all the Manchester United fans can come in if they want. And if anyone's free, much appreciated. I'll drop them a DM as well.
Brilliant.
But no, thanks for having me on. Much appreciated.
Anytime. Yep. Chelsea preview on Tuesday, and that will be with Ankit. So that will be very, very good. Looking forward to that also. So go and check us out on Tuesday. Probably we'll do another women's preview somewhere. And whoever else we play in the weekend, which I'm also dreading yet again. But everyone, if you're new, smash that subscribe button and hit the like button. We'll see you all very soon. Goodbye for now.